So this video is for the energy for Nigeria for the month of February, and we are already in February. I think today is the 6th. Today is the 6th of February, right? So the video is coming late, but nonetheless I still have to do it. I have a full desk, so doing these videos I usually don't come with comfort. No. It comes with some sacrifice, right? So as you can see here, it's painted red. The energy for the month is Aries. Is Aries, and Aries is action, right? Is conflict, is activism. Why am I saying this now? Because the country is hot right now, very hot. This is going to be the hottest month of the country. And based on the Sun and Venus conjunction that happened on the 6th of January in the sign of Capricorn, our energy for the year is both the Sun and Capricorn. So this part of the presidency is going to be hot for this month. And when the Sun moves into Aries, anywhere from March 21st, when the Sun moves into 0 degrees of Aries, right? So that is depending if it's not a leap year. If it's a leap year, then it's going to be March 22nd, right? So we are going to be seeing a lot of actions, and this is the 10th house here points to the presidency. That's the presidency. In fact, we already see the president, in handshakes or negotiation or partnership with inviting the Chinese to, come in and revive our refineries. That's a bold move. Basically, the president in this place, we have to understand. The Mars is in the 10th, is in the first house, which Mars is the ruler of this guy, right? Sorry, but I don't pull up the aspect of these things. Maybe in some other video I'll do that. I should be working on the aspects so that these things will come out very clear, so I can just run you guys through some of the things that are unfolding in the chart, right? We are considering Venus and Neptune being in Scorpio, like early degrees of Scorpio, so they definitely trying Mars here. So which Mars trining Venus here is a good placement for all kinds of our presidents doing some political stuff, politicking and getting away with it. Basically, the ease of them getting away with the ease of doing that and getting away with it is all that stuff, including some very shady stuff, including all of those religious and all that stuff. I'm not reading the Nigerian chart today. I just want to focus on the month, including other transits that we are going to be seeing. Because like I said, we are currently in Aquarius season, and like I told people, we have to understand the way that the sky moves. It's a very interesting thing. So depending on when the sun rises from your end, anything from like 6 in Abuja, it rises somewhere as early as 6:50 approximately to 7 a.m. So anywhere from 6:50 to 8:50, because the sun rises for 2 hours. Aquarius is going to be rising. But the thing here is that Aquarius is just a 30-degree sign. You understand me? It's a 30-degree sign. So as the sun moves from 0 degrees of Aquarius, one day, the sun moves 1 degree per day. So every day 1 degree, every 1 degree. So today is the 6th, which is the sun entered Aquarius on the 20th. That's when the sun enters 0 degrees of Aquarius. So from the 20th of January to the 6th, that's about approximately maybe 16 days. So the sun will be in like 15 degrees of Aquarius right now. You understand my point? It's going to be in like 15 degrees of Aquarius. Why? Instead of 16 or 15, because the sun starts for 0 degrees. So that's the one I would have counted at 1, but it counted as 0. You understand me? So should be 15 degrees. So what that basically means now, as I'm speaking to you now, Aquarius will be rising 1 hour, because we are already in the middle point of Aquarius where the sun is. The sun is already in the middle point of Aquarius, not 0 degrees again. Then tomorrow is going to move to 16 degrees. Like that, it just keeps going, right? Until the 19th of February. Yes, 19th of February is when, 18th of February is when it comes out of Aquarius. Then 19th of February moves into Pisces. So we are going to be having Aquarius rise 1 hour before the sun rises. Why? Because it has left all of these points. So Aquarius is still going to be rising before all of these points. So as the sky moves through the day, you'll notice that there's always like 4 minutes the time falls 4 minutes backwards. You understand me? As to how this whole mechanics work. And you see that there are key points in time of the day where you notice this energy manifest. You understand? So if the sun is already in the middle point of Aquarius now, so anything from like now to like in next 5 days time, although at intervals of 4 minutes backwards, move it backwards. Earlier the sign is going to be rising, which is going to be moving from the ascendant to the MC to the DC to the IC, just different time of the day. Is why I was trying to tell people when I was even making that post on Facebook about the lady that was bitten by a cobra who died. I told them Pisces was rising when she died. Yes, Pisces was rising when she died. Pisces is the sign of spirits. Pisces is the sign of spirit. But the fact those snakes were already in her house as early as 6. She got bitten by around 8. Those snakes were already in her house as early as 6. Why? Because that was when Aquarius was rising. That's where Mars and Pluto is. See these guys? These guys points to snakes and scorpions. That's what these guys points to. So it's not a coincidence. So they were already stationed in a house by virtue of when Aquarius was rising. And these two just came out. Mars is in a separating aspect. It's in a separating conjunction currently, but it's still a conjunction because sign-based conjunction basically. So we are still seeing these two, their influence still playing out, including crime rates becoming very high. You notice some places you were robbed. If you look at the time that you were robbed, you notice something around maybe within 12 midnight to 2 a.m. or 1 a.m. to 3 a.m. Somewhere around that point, because that is when Aquarius will now has rotated. It's now in the IC, this point. Or let me know it's in a Nigerian chart. Let me use this fresh chart here, this point. You understand my point now? So now back to, let me not spend time on this. Back to the energy here that is playing out. Because I wanted to speak about how Mars and Pluto here. So it dawned on me like, oh, this stuff actually played out, right? And Mars being the ruler of the 10th house. So Mars is in Aquarius. That's the presidency in the sign of China. Those who have been following me have been saying it for quite some time. Aquarius is the sign of China. So you see, they are even shared it on my Facebook recently. How the president is, getting here is, trying to partner with China and what is it called? Telling them to come and do our refinery, which is basically what Pluto is. That's the petroleum sector. That's the petroleum sector. You understand what I'm saying now? So, and we are considering this second house here. This is the second house. This is the money house of the billionaires. The 7th house here is the billionaires. That's the billionaires. That's the 7th cusp. The sign on the 7th is the billionaires. Then the second is their house. Then this is how they communicate. If you want to know what's on their mind, you look at this point. Yeah, it goes on and on like that. Don't worry yourself. So you can just basically know where the billionaires are taking their money to by virtue of this. So currently now they are making a lot of financial moves that we are not knowing by virtue of Pluto being here because it's the biggest planet here so far. Although the sun is there to shine a light on things, but there's still a bit of stealth, still a bit of manipulation going on underground. That is underworld activities. And Pluto being here, petroleum, being the second house of billionaires, you see how Dangote, went into. Although before Pluto moved into Aquarius, Dangote was already planning, but it became a tangible thing that gave him money when Pluto was in Aquarius as early as 2020, 2023. Pluto was in Aquarius, so it wasn't making money from the petrol thing. When Pluto was in Capricorn, he already had it in mind. Now, if you say this is the house of billionaires, just assume that that's their first house. So you move the chart to have Capricorn in the first, the natural inclination of 18, the focus and direction of anything. That's what the first place is going to be. So he already had it in mind. That was his focus and direction. Now I'm going to be the refinery, but it didn't become a thing for him to make money with until Pluto moved into Aquarius. So it became a source of income for him. And then there's one guy that's building a power plant. The videos for that delicate is building a power plant. You understand what's going on now? This is telling you where the billionaires, their money is going to. And we have Uranus and Saturn as the ruler of this stuff. And then we have the ninth cusp here. I think Costraris, that deals on automotives and all that stuff. That's the ninth cusp here. Assembling plants and I think stuff like that. That's it. That's it. And I was telling someone that the man of UBA, you know him now, Tony. This is tech. Aquarius is the sign of tech and electricity. Pluto is here, which is petroleum. That's where down with us venturing into. But tech, electricity, Adeleke has gone into that. Tony is talking about fintech. That's it. Are you paying attention? That's it. And with Uranus being in Taurus, he started to talk about the whole fintech chain. That is the sign of finance. That is the ruler of this guy now is here. And then he moves into death. Nothing stopping him. He's going into tech, physically. So now that the ruler of the month, which is Mars, is in Aquarius, you understand me? That's China. And the presidency is telling China, come and fix our refineries, Pluto. Come and fix our refineries. Because you have to understand, refineries is also Aquarius as much as it's Pluto. Pluto is revivification, to revive things, is what Pluto is. Then Aquarius is refinement. When you put those two together, what is it telling you? Pluto in Aquarius. So the presidency telling China to come and revive our refineries. It needs them to be working. We need to be energy independent. That's big basic for us because the same person has given the United States access to our health sector, and then China has access to our energy sector. You just basically just putting two heads together because I don't understand what's going on at this point. You just putting two heads together. Maybe at the end of the day, there's going to be a scramble, or China will eventually do their thing, and we hold more of the economic dominance, and everybody will eventually tilt towards that side. And the fact that we're in the age of Aquarius, let's take that into consideration, right? And there's likely this is the sign of independence and freedom and people-oriented stuff. So even our health sector, you understand my point? Our health sector is eventually going to go towards privatization. People are now going to turn towards herbs and all of that. That is the president basically saying, read my language, read what I'm doing. I don't really have power to make that much decision, but understand where I'm going and direction is. See, basically, according to the Nigerian chart, right, by virtue of the ruler of the first house being in the second, in fact, Aries rules the first place of anything originally. Now it is now here in Cancer, although it's in his fourth sign because it's exalted in Capricorn and falls in Cancer. Although there's nowhere Mars actually falls it, trust me. It's active everywhere. Just for the sake of it, there are some dysfunctional, expressions that it carries. That is why we say that it falls in a certain sign, right? So the fact that he is here is basically saying the presidency, every move that the president makes, is direction, is what is directing the entire country. That is just how very strong the presidency is in Nigeria. There are some other places where they have strong institutions that can deter the power of this guy, but not in the Nigerian space. Nigerian president has so much power. Nigerian president has so much power. In my other videos, I said that the fifth house points to the presidency. Yes, it does. It does. But I still want to tell you guys that this guy also points to, because we're doing mundane astrology here now, so this guy also points to the presidency. You understand me? And the moon is currently moving through Libra, which is the opposite sign of business. That is the opposition of the president. You understand? That is the opposing parties. Basically, is what the opposing sign, this thing here is pointing, the opposing sign here is pointing to. There's a lot of areas of this chart I'm not going to touch now that points to other sectors, right? So, maybe in future videos I'll talk about them. You understand? I'll talk about them because if you are looking at the 12th house now, we are considering our secret enemies. So basically, deep state, people that are running Nigeria behind the scene, the cabals. The cabals. So with Mercury even moving out of Aquarius now, there's really no way that they can fight the presidency if they don't like him, which obviously they don't. The cabals in the country in the north, they don't. Not in the hidden states, not in the deep states in the west, no. Both of them, all of them are still described by this point. You just need to understand the expressions of the ruler of Gemini, which is Mercury, as it moves through, so that you will know which side is basically, is what both sides are basically doing. So the fact that they are going to be talking about why is it going to China, it's not going in our favor, stuff like that. But they really don't have much time except they move into because Mercury is going to move into I think today is 6th. Mercury is supposed to move into Pisces today. I till much later today, or is it tomorrow? I think my calculation was on the 6th. I drew the calculation and it was supposed to be 6. So if it moves into years, basically they are going to use the media because they have a lot of media machineries. Yes, they have. They are going to use the media to want to do marketing. Why would they be building a refinery? Blah blah blah. They will run us to because this is the ninth house. That's things. That's the media. That's exposition, basically. You know, the lies and deception they are going to use. They are going to tell the Nigerians that going to China, giving out all those refineries to China is blah blah. Although you know the president, we know our president. We know our president. If Dangote already has a refinery, some of his kinsmen have gone to meet him, Baba. Since it's like this, Dangote's refinery is refining this thing. Why don't we also get into the game? Give us something to get into the game with. So that this man now is a nothing person. You understand my point now? Let's not, get carried away with the whole stuff and then he now has enough money to back his people, to overthrow you. They have a lot of influence, a lot of economic leverage to say, oh, this, and boom, you're out of power. We want you to go a second term, give us leverage, let's back you, blah, blah, blah. That is what basically he's doing. You understand what I'm saying? That's basically what's happening. So he's calling China, come and revive our refineries. Because he wants to give them to his brothers. Mercury is here, has been here when he made that move. That's that movement. That's brotherhood. And we're looking at Venus still being here, which is, tribalism and all that stuff, and Alright, so Neptune moved into Aries. And I would like to draw up the chart for Neptune moving into Aries. But before I do that, I hope this video will not be too long. Because I need to still emphasize on this energy. This is the energy. This is the time when I tell women, be safe. And why I'm saying this is because the Mars is in Cancer. You're a female, you're watching this in Nigeria. Pay attention. Be safe. Mars being in Cancer by natural placement, this is a very strong expression. This energy is active for the moon. So this place is going to be pulling the strings like a guitar. So as it's activating this, also, looking for where his ruler is, basically is. It's the side of the chart that's going to be going on. And Cancer is women. You understand me? Women. So these are things that people need to be mindful of. And with Mars still being in Aquarius, it's death. There's the 8th place of death. And the sign of Aquarius is accident. And guess what? We're having an eclipse. We're having a lunar eclipse. Am I right? Am I right? The moon is currently here. Sorry, we're having a solar eclipse, not a lunar eclipse. So when the moon goes here and then there's a new moon, that's what creates the solar eclipse. So we're having a solar eclipse in Aquarius, right? And we're having a solar eclipse in Aquarius. So that is the 8th house sign of Nigeria being activated. So death. And Pluto is there. Terrorism, kidnappings, terrorist attacks, and all that stuff is going to be rampant after the eclipse. It's going to be very, 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 very rampant. Accidents will occur in roads and all that stuff because of bad road and stuff. But things are really not going to go well. We were under this energy sometime last year when this baby Nigeria former housemate's sister got involved in an accident that involved Dangote's truck and all that stuff, and it was all over the media and stuff like that. So this is the place for the Nigerian chart where the eclipse is going to be going on. That's the 8th place of death. Why I emphasize on accident and transportation-based crisis or transportation-based, accident, like things happening, like things, horrible things, harmful stuffs, harmful events. Because this is the 9th cusp. The 9th cusp is in the sign of Aquarius. The 9th cusp is in the sign of Aquarius. So that's transportation, including flight. If you want to take flight that time, you need to watch to avoid plane crash. Make sure that you are entering a trusted flight, right? So, so the energy for the month still continues. So we're also going to be looking at areas of banks also, still having their normal issues. Although this month has been bad network-wise, that's Aquarius. This one has been Aquarius because our network infrastructure is very poor. Our telecommunication industry is very, 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 very bad. That's what it is. So with the sun being here with all of the two malefic presence, and these are it's really, really terrible this period. Until the sun moves into Pisces, we can't really say much about the health sector getting better. In fact, electricity, the grid has collapsed so much because the excess is the like say the combination of all of these planets here forming that stellium, that massive stellium, the presence. You understand? That's very big presence of all of these planets there is really impressing upon the electricity, the electric sector. That is, yes, electric sector, electricity sector rather, and including areas of travel, kidnappings, and all that stuff. And with the ninth cause being there, we are seeing issues of invasion. You understand? We are seeing issues of invasion. And even in Burkina Faso too, you hear of, or somewhere in Niger, Mali, you hear where terrorists attack airports. That is Aquarius. Aquarius is airports. You understand me? Aquarius is a sign of airports. It's an air sign. Things that fly, aircraft, airports, all that stuff. And then the attack there is Mars. So everywhere in the world, Mars is currently in everywhere. Just like in the Nigerian chart, this is unique, what is the 8th house? But we see the death in Kwara State. That invasion, is taking place there. So these are things that we don't need to, overlook or take for granted, if you ask me. So, as the moon is currently in Libra and is moving, so we should be expecting it. Yeah, August 17 is a new moon. It's a new moon. Somewhere I think around 1:30 p.m. or so. I've done the calculation. Around 1:30 p.m. or so, we are going to see it. I don't know. I'll check later. So maybe I'll talk about that. But I'm going to do a lunar eclipse video. I'll talk about how that is going to affect people individually. But look, nationally, this 8th house here, there's going to be a high death toll. A high death toll. And I'm not saying this because I like to talk about death. I'm saying this because this is what is going to play out. So we have to know the nature of how these things come about. So that we don't keep, making blunders and mistakes like that. So the energy for this month is going to be very high. The fact that Aries is blood and death and bloodshed and violence. And then we're having an eclipse in the 8th house where Mars is going to still be in. The energy for the month carries a lot of maleficness. A lot of very, very terrible events going to be happening. It's just going to be very red for the month. Especially after the eclipse, it's going to be very, very red. And this energy now also activated. I think that Quara attack got activated. That Quara attack came in this month. Immediately we step into this month. I think the Quara attack happened when we step into this month. That is indicating that yes, bloodshed, harm. You see, they entered people's village. They attacked people's village. That's Mars and that's love in Cancer. But by transit, it's in Aquarius. But it's still death. It's still in the house of death. So even here, this village, Cancer is village, is home, homeland, people home, farmland, all that stuff is Cancer. So they enter and they kill people in their village. That's terrorism. Mars. As a terrorist, that's Mars, So, but another very unique thing here I want to talk about is the fact that Neptune has moved into Aries. Neptune is new worlds, new dimension. New dimension. So the fact that we have it moving into the 10th house of Nigeria, that's the presidency, tells you we are likely going to have a new president or whoever is still there is going to, do something that will change the destiny of Nigeria. Neptune is going to be in Aries for 14 years. So I guarantee you there's something coming out of the presidency that is going to change Nigeria. I can't tell you who or when, but this is a very strong promise. Even currently, you have to understand when Neptune moved into Aries, Leo was rising. Aquarius was in the 7th, and that's where all of these planets, including the Sun, Mars, Mercury, Venus, Pluto, all of them were there. We have Taurus here. This is where the moon was. In that ingress chart, when you pull up the ingress chart. Now, what does that tell you? I'm going to do a more elaborate video on this. The first house ruler, this is Leo. Leo is the youth, his children, young generation. I'm telling you that for the 14 years of Neptune in Aries transit, the youth are going to be the highlight of what is going to be going on in the country. The fact that it's this ruler, which is the sun, is in the 7th. That is the place for billionaires. You are going to have a very wealthy population of young people. Very, very wealthy population of young people. People should have that in mind. So when opportunities come, you see the billionaires start to make their moves. Look for how to keep yourself. I'm even doing a course as per the 5-pointed star of Venus, right? 5-pointed star of Venus and the global economics. I'm doing that, so don't worry. I'm going to be coming in with, all that stuff. But it's going to be a paid course, so because some people know how to take information for granted. That information is too big. I can't give it for free. I'm sorry, guys. I can't give it for free. It's going to be a paid information. I'm going to compile all of the sectors that have potential that has not even been explored, even the one that has been explored. But because people see that it's pain, they rush into it, which is basically what we do. But because they don't know that there are other sectors that has been untapped, but because they just don't know that that place has the potential to bring money, that's what I'm going to be bringing. I'm going to be telling you in case you have any idea. You'll be like, oh, okay, since I know this stuff, like, let me create a product that solve a problem that is in this particular sector. You do it, boom, and your money is flowing. There are 5 of them. I'm going to do the course. Don't worry, guys. So these placements now, the ruler of the 10th in this ingress chart for when Neptune was in Aries here, which is in the 9th house, which involved geopolitics, Western influence, and all that. But we are going to be seeing a lot of it too. Like I said before, Nigeria, the West are not the only ones interested in Nigeria. We have Russia, we have China. Trust me. We have the ruler of the 10th, which is in presidency, in the 7th house. We have the ruler of the 4th, which is the homeland, the opposition party, in the 7th house. We have the ruler of the 1st in the 7th house. There's a high concentration on this sector. Why? Because the 7th points to voting and election. This is politics. This is the realm of politics. Voting and election. That is the 7th house. And China is there, high concentration of China getting involved. That's why I said in my predictions, I told them, look, China is going to have a very strong presence in our coming election that we even imagine. Whether coming in plainly or working from the back door, something is going to happen. Something is definitely going to happen. There's going to be a lot of this high energy concentrated here. It says a lot about this transit and what it holds for us. So saying the president going to China to do stuff, I'm like, this is the promise that the Neptune in Aries transit chart says the holds. You understand my point? So this video is not for Neptune in Aries. I'm just giving an illustration. Let me know why I beat in case I need to refer back. I hope this video is not getting too long. I just want to quickly wrap up, right? So we are still looking at this energy, the workforce, activating, like we might likely see, protests and activism in the workforce this month too. Including banks, issues with banks, banks changing their stuff and all of that crazy stuff, right? So yeah, we are likely going to see some activism, some people protest. It may not necessarily be like in the government sector, but that is another aspect to that, another area too we need to look at. Could be normal people too, talking about how the work they are doing is not to their pay. That their pay does not reflect the kind of effort or the work that they do. Stuff like that. Could be civil servants coming out to talk about how. So we are going to be seeing all of these things. So the media is also going to be hyped up to this period, big time. So also Uranus are stationed direct in Taurus. So we are expecting it in April to be in Gemini. So that's the billionaires' money moving into the tech sector. Big time. All of them. Having some small stays, stock, shares and stuff. So you're going to see it. That is how their money moves. This is something that I've tracked here. There's more to it, but I don't want to make this video too long. So the energy for the month is, the most important thing I'm going to say is be safe. It carries a lot of bloodshed. It carries a lot of bloodshed, a lot of danger, a lot of not so good things, a lot of scorpions and snakes. A lot of that, you see. So, let me see if there's more. Maybe I'll talk about it also when I do the Neptune in Aries video, because I'm still going to be talking about Aries. So I'll do it this month. I'll try my best to do it this month. Although I can't cover it all that will happen that period, but I'm going to use this chart to explore it for us too, because this is the Nigerian ingress. I used Abuja for this location to get this stuff. In fact, anywhere in Nigeria would have still given us Leo rising. So that's what I did, and I got that stuff right. But my fear here is the father. Cancer is the ruler of the 12 in this place, right? And this is the 12. The 12 is the deep state, and the ruler of Cancer, which is the moon, was in Taurus in this exaltation. As much as Cancer points to the people, it also points to, since it's in this exaltation, it basically points to the fact that the people are going to be fighting for a new president. On the side where it points to the deep states, or like they are the ones that are going to be giving us a new president. Maybe Tinubu is really not their guy anymore, because obviously, as much as we think that he's their guy, he's really not their guy. There's a game that he's playing. He went into that seat, and there's something he knows that the rest of us don't know. Is why he's playing the games differently now. Is why he's playing the game differently now. So if you can give his brothers the refinement, it's fine. He's playing the game differently. So he's playing double agent. He's playing both sides. He's playing for China and BRICS, and he's also playing for the West. So either way, but so far, China has gotten the bigger share of everything. Yes. The health sector, what is that? They just want to kill us. Basically, that is how they think when they go to that. So they were looking for the thing they used to kill us. Tinubu just gave China the bigger fish, which is the economy. So these ones are busy looking for how to kill us. And I said it that we are likely going to have an outbreak because the energy for the year. I said it in my Jupiter video. So I don't know if I mentioned that the Western influence in our health sector and stuff. I don't know if I mentioned it, but that's the energy for the year. Since 1st October 2005, we entered into this energy for that year. And I mentioned health, breakout of stuff in some parts of Nigeria, and all that stuff. And look at it, it's taking form. Foreigners, it's Sagittarius, wanting to have access to our health sector. Does it make sense now? And we have the sign that points to China in the 8th. So bringing us transformation, healing, Chiron is there. But the process for us to attain that end is going to be very traumatic. That is just a promise. It's going to be very traumatic. So we should have these things in mind. This is getting interesting. There's a lot for me to really make sense. Yes, this energy actually exposes that. I mentioned health, I mentioned foreigner, all that, the health sector, all that stuff. Look at them, they came in. Before they did that, it was already written there. You guys need to understand. There's nobody controlling any world. You people are not controlling nothing. We are ignorant of this science here. And like I told you recently on my Facebook, I said the Americans have something they call American Federation of Astrology. What is American Federation of Astrology? American Federation of Astrology. What does that sound like? Alpha? That's the Igbo divination system. That's our divination system in Igbo. You understand what I'm saying now? That's Alpha. Astrology. American Federation of Astrologers. Alpha. This stuff. See, I just didn't know, but the fact that it's something worthy of note, like, it's like we're going to have foreign influence in our health sector. I don't know. Did I say it? I forgot I said. I made a lot of predictions that I forgot I've said. The people that come here, you said this and I said I did. I'm doing the next thing. I'm telling you guys this one is going to happen. Take it. We need to take this stuff serious, man. We need to take this stuff serious. You know, I'm busting my ass to do this stuff for me and for all of us. We need to take this stuff serious. So, yeah, I guess that's it.